Hello and welcome to all my pilgrims out there watching. Today's daily thought is going to be on esports, electronic sports, video games. Now, it was brought to my attention that esports could very possibly be in the Olympics and is already in the X Games. Weird. I have a special guest today, is my wife. Say hello. She doesn't want to be seen on camera. So, the question is, thoughts on esports in the Olympics and X Games? I don't know. Olympics.
I'm going to ask you a question.
We've got our first question from the special guest.
Are there any sports currently in, or let's say any events currently in the Olympics that you don't think should be there?
Yeah.
Like,
Speed walking.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hey, props to all the people out there that speed walk, but it's a weird sport. I don't even know if you can call it a sport. It's
Hey, I think they do long distance.
It's walking.
But it's fast. That's hard.
I mean,
There's like technique to it.
at least they're doing something.
There's technique and everything.
Right, but
I'm just saying it's not like they're just
you got running,
leisurely taking a stroll.
and then you got walking. Like, I feel like speed walking, I don't know. There's, weird. Anyway, so esports in the Olympics, I have more leniency to than in the X Games. I don't know if esports, video games, I mean, I guess if you were to add it to the Olympics as a side thing and not take something out to replace it with, I don't know if that's the idea or not, then I could see it. It does take some skills to be good at video games, certain video games.
And it's a team thing. It's not like you're just up there playing
Right.
games by yourself. Like, it's a whole
Strategic
thing.
They do have leagues and everything and big competitions, and it's a multi-million, maybe even billion-dollar industry for the esports. And there's a lot of different consoles. So then, what do you have? Do you have different categories for the different consoles? Do you have one for PlayStation? Do you have one for Xbox? One on the computer. I don't know how that would work, but then you have the X Games. I mean, the X Games is extreme sports. So, what is extreme about video games? I mean, when somebody says extreme, I'm thinking like risk taking, injuries probable. So, what is extreme about playing video games?
Why don't you read number 1?
Okay, so here we have the definition of extreme. Reaching a high or highest degree, very great.
Which is not physical.
That is just, you are extreme at what you do.
Right, supersede.
Which
again is not physical.
In definition,
not physical.
In definition, no,
Yeah.
It is not physical. But when you say extreme sports,
Shall we look up sport? Shall we look up sport too?
yeah, look up
Okay,
sport. Let's look up sports, and then or try just extreme sports and see if anything comes up. Like the definition of extreme sports. See, you're thinking skateboarders, doing jumps, people on bikes doing jumps. Extreme sports is not, a long distance race. It's not, you're doing extreme flips and, all this stuff. You're not just trying to get get from point A to point B the fastest, but it's everything. Extreme sports is everything that you're doing in between. You're on half pipes and stuff like that, and jumps, and so you're not really doing the same thing as like the Olympics. The Olympics are more distance, except for a couple of sports like the half pipe and stuff in the winter sports. But you're doing a lot of extreme stuff where like flips, and it's just I don't see how
Apparently
video
there's
games
4 categories: earth, water, snow and ice, and air.
for what extreme sports.
Yeah, a list of extreme sports.
So where's video games? So video games does not fall under extreme sports.
What's zorbing?
Zorbing.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know.
No.
Anybody out there knows what zorbing is?
I can look it up.
Hit it up.
So skateboarding, like you say, would fall under earth.
Yeah. So I mean, extreme sports, like,
Oh, maybe it's
do you do like skateboarding games or snowboarding games?
Zorbing. It's usually. Are you talking about video gaming?
Yeah.
It's like Call of Duty and stuff like that. They play like stuff like that. It's like fighting games, like war games and stuff.
But for extreme sports?
That's what they play. You've never watched them? You've never watched them?
No, I mean, I have. Okay, so here we have zorbing. What the hell?
I don't know. I didn't read it. I just saw the picture.
Zorbing comes in many ways and is ridiculously fun to watch and play.
They actually use the word ridiculously?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was you.
No, I'm reading it word for word. It describes any activity done in a giant air-filled ball and ranges from football to throwing to rolling downhill to being towed by a boat or a jet ski.
Yeah.
So you're just in a large inflatable ball.
Yep. That sounds extreme.
Yeah, that is the picture. That's zorbing.
Do you think that qualifies?
I mean, that could get interesting. that really could get interesting. Zorbing. When you get people, that are attached to extreme sports, and then you put them in a ball that they're like protected. I mean, you could get some people doing some crazy stuff, and I would love to watch that. But back to the topic at hand is esports. And, going through this list of stuff on esports, I mean, just to name a few events for esports. Mountain boarding, which is basically like snowboarding, but it has wheels, and you go down the side of a mountain. That's pretty extreme. Sandboarding.
Esports is actually electronic sports. You're talking about extreme sports. It's not the same thing.
No. Cameron said that they added esports to extreme sports.
Right. I'm just saying, esports is not what you're.
Or to the X Games, I mean.
I know, but esports is not what you're listing off right now.
No. Right now, I'm talking about
I'm just
events.
in the air because you made a mistake.
Some events at the X Games.
Sport.
Things that are considered extreme sports that you would see at the X Games. Skateboarding, longboarding, mountain boarding, sandboarding, drifting, BMX motocross, surfing, water skiing, bodyboarding.
What are the X Games? Is it like Olympics? Like you do it annually or something?
Yeah. snowboarding, skiing, ice climbing, base jumping, skydiving, bungee jumping. These are things.
Argument that it's not dangerous enough.
Yeah, I guess that it's not dangerous enough. Like,
Because according to the definition of extreme,
yeah, the definition of extreme
Means they're
says that they're just the best. But then,
so
but I mean, if that's the case, you could.
it's strenuous. It's stressful. I've seen you play a video game on the couch, and it's like you're a totally different person when you're out there.
Right, but that's not what I'm not saying that it's not competitive and it's not,
Extreme.
it's not like everybody
It's
can
not extreme.
do it. Yeah.
You read the definition.
Okay, so based on the definition of extreme, it just means
It
like the best of the
qualifies.
best. It qualifies. But when you think of X Games, you think of not just you don't think of somebody sitting behind a video game playing a game. You think of people that are out risking life and limb to do a stunt and who can do it the best. You're looking for people flying off mountains and jumping over things. And I get that there's becoming a greater gravitational pull towards the e-games, but to categorize it with extreme sports, I don't know. Like I said, I think I can give a little to it going to the Olympics if you add a separate section for it.
I don't think they would take anything out. Like, why would they do that?
Well, because they can only have so many events. So if they're going to add something, then they take things out.
Is that really how it works?
Yeah.
What's the limit?
I don't know.
Are you making that up?
No.
I think you're making that up.
Maybe.
Because they add stuff all the time. I didn't even
But
know
if-
speed walking was a thing.
It was they took speed walking out for a while and then they brought it back. And if you have never seen Olympic style speed walking, an Olympic style race of speed walking, go check it out because that's crazy. Okay, that's extreme. And literally, like, you have judges out there. These people are borderline running. All right, they're borderline
But
running.
there is a technique. Like, your feet have to, like, do certain things. Like,
Right, you've got to
I've looked
walk
it up.
a
I looked it up a
certain
while
way,
ago.
but I mean, these people are basically running, just in a different technique.
They go pretty fast.
They get moving,
They do.
and their hips are swaying, and they're, I mean, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So if you ever get the chance, look up Olympic speed walking and see the races of speed walking at the Olympics. It is somewhat entertaining for a moment. But back to the question at hand. E-games in the Olympics and the X Games. Again, the little one's awake.
Yep.
I can see them doing it in the Olympics if they add a separate category completely away from what is already being done, and it does not affect anything already in the Olympics, like they end up having to take something out. I just don't, not the X Games. Like I don't see it in the X Games. How can it be in the X Games when you are talking about extreme sports, and then you're talking about video games? Now, maybe it's just my generation. Maybe it's just me. I grew up with Atari and Nintendo, the regular NES Nintendo, and it's nothing like what they have today. Some of these games, you got to look twice just to see that it's even a game. But to say that it belongs in the X Games, I don't think so. So my final thought is I'll give it the nod for the Olympics, but not the X Games, not the X Games. So my guest speaker, my wife, what is your final thoughts?
I don't really care about either of them.
So you say what? Yes
I
or
say
no?
it's fine.
You say yes to the Olympics and to the X
The
Games.
millennials are going to be super upset and they're going to be offended.
Well, they're going to be upset and offended anyway.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, you let them in, they're going to get
No, I
offended.
mean, it's
you
not- it
don't
doesn't
let them
seem
in,
like
they're going to
it's-
get offended.
Physically strenuous.
And
It
that's
is
my thing
mentally-
with
it's mentally strenuous.
and that's my thing with the X Games is you expect it to be like brutal. Yeah, when you think of X Games, you're thinking of just like if this guy screws up,
He could break a leg.
yeah, he might die.
Oh, I don't know.
If he
about
comes
all
in-
that. I don't. Well,
Yeah, I mean, you
I
think
don't
about these people.
expect death. Like
You don't expect
I
it.
don't-
I mean, you
don't
expect these guys, they're professionals, they do this all the time. You don't expect them, but I mean, you think about it, these guys are, doing jumps and stuff, 20, 30, 50 feet in the air. You think about if you fell from a building 50 feet, you're probably going to die. And then you add in speed and all this other stuff. And I mean, some of these events, if you screw up enough, you could die.
Yeah.
Video games, you screw up, what? You
You
break
could
a
have
nail.
a heart attack and die.
Well, that's from stress.
God.
That's
Strenuous on your
That's
body.
I don't know.
These guys cry. I've seen them cry when they lose. It hurts.
Our little one cries when he
Yeah,
loses.
but these guys lose like money when they lose. That's probably why they're really crying.
Right. Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't watch like
there's
the
leagues
streamers.
and
I
stuff
watch-
where they get
I've
paid a
seen-
lot of money to
Well,
play
yeah,
these video
competitions. I've
games.
seen competitions. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just sitting at home playing.
Right. I mean,
But
these
they're
guys.
also
I mean,
not
they
crying
train,
when
and they have like houses where they all like a team will go and live together, and they just
Right.
play and play and play.
Right.
I get it. I just doesn't really meet the criteria of what you expect to see when you turn on the
Me
Olympics.
or you?
Well, you as my special guest, I'm asking for your opinion.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. It wouldn't be like, wow. I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't be completely surprised to see it in the Olympics.
The first thing I wouldn't think if I saw it was, oh my god, this doesn't belong here. That's not what my original thought would be. I probably wouldn't even be like.
That's
probably
what I thought
wouldn't
about
even
speed
think
walking.
I probably wouldn't even think about it. Like,
I could see it in the Olympics. I would have that feeling in the Olympics, but in the X Games, I would just be like,
what the
why is this in the X Games? Like,
Yeah.
I turn it on to see.
Want to have a second special guest?
Second special guest. Say hi. I just don't think I can. If I turned on the X Games, I'm not going to expect to see video games.
Yeah.
I expect to see,
Sports.
extreme sports.
Yeah. Well, good luck to those, and if they really are there, if they're really in it, good luck.
It is what it is. I'm not on the board of any of them, and I don't do any of them anymore. So if it is, it is. You won't. I'm not going to be watching video gamers play extreme sports
You don't
anytime
watch
soon.
extreme sports anyway.
Hey, I do sometimes. I
No,
have.
you don't.
Not on a regular basis. I couldn't even tell you when they are,
Never watched it.
but if I was to sit down and it was on, I would watch it. Maybe. Or I'd go outside and paint my house some more.
Yeah. Right.
Twiddle my thumbs. All right, so we'll go ahead and sign off. This topic is esports in the Olympics and the X Games. Hit me up with your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. We still got out there the challenge. We're getting there. We're getting close.
Do you even know what your current number is?
Last I checked, we were at 74 subscribers, so we need 26, and I will get pepper sprayed in the face
By me.
by my wife. And 126 to go, and I will let her tase me.
Really want to use my taser.
She's super excited about that.
So,
I think a little too excited. So maybe I should rethink this. Maybe I shouldn't.
Too late. Challenge is already out there.
Oh yeah, because I said that even if I back out, you can do me in my sleep. Tease me in my sleep.
When you sleep.
All right, so like, subscribe, share, chat. Send me something. What do you want to hear about? My thoughts on today. My current subscriber status is 73. I lost one. Man, who left?
Well, they're not watching. So.
They're not watching me. All right, so shout out to all my subscribers and to my wife is the newest crack. She has brought in some subscribers.
Don't eat that.
So my wife is the newest crack today. So get out there and share your thoughts and stuff. America.